Alright, like I said, I'm doing the other matrix problems in their own video just because I want to have my own time or take time solving these. Alright, so we need to do -3b plus 5a. Now with matrices, you need to do the multiplication first before you do the addition. So let's find out what -3b is going to equal and what our 5a is going to equal. So when you are multiplying a matrix by just the one number in the front, you are just going to multiply each part of that matrix by that number. So, case in point, -3 times b, okay? That's going to be a -3 times 0, which is 0, a -3 times 2, which is -6, -3 times 1, which is -3, -3 times 6, which is -18. Alright, next one, our 5a. So 5 times 3, which is 15, 5 times -2, -10, 5 times 3, 15, and 5 times 1 is 5. So now we have our -3b and our 5a. Next step, we're adding them, right? So let's put them in an order so we can see what we're going to be adding across. So that's our -3b, and then we have our 5a. So adding across, like we did in problem 4, that's going to be 0 plus 15, -6 plus -10, which is -16, -3 plus 15, which is a +12, and a -18 plus 5, which is a -13. And that is all you need to do for number 5. Alright, number 6. Number 6 is a product. So this is going to be multiplying the matrices. This is the one that I highly recommend doing lots of practice of. It takes a while to get it right. Like I showed in class, I messed up even though I've done it so many times. So it's still a thing you have to stay fresh with, especially if you're studying for your test. So for this way, I'm going to show through hopefully different colors if I can. Yeah, there we go. So our first one is going to be our first row times our first column. Right? That is a -1 times +1 plus -2 times +2. Alright, now to our next one. Still in that first row, but now we're on second column. That's going to be our -1 times 1 plus -2 times -3. So we're done with the first row because if you see here, we have the first row right here. Done with that. Now let's do our second row. Second row, that's going to be our 3 and 0, right, times our first column. That's 3 times 1 and 0 times 2. Here, you don't have to write the 0 times 2. You could just put 0 or just put nothing. Same thing here, second row, second column. That is going to be our 3 times 1 plus, again, our 0 times -3. Okay, so now we just need to simplify this matrix, right? So from doing that, -1 times 1 is -1, -2 times 2 is -4, -4 plus -1 is a -5. -1 times 1 is a -1, -2 times -3 is a 6, so 6 plus -1 is a +5. Then our 3 times 1 is 3. This is just 0. Then we give our +3. And same thing here. That's a 0. And we have 3. So you should get a matrix of -5, 5, and 3, 3. So again, I highly recommend when you're doing products, please practice or have some kind of pattern that you try to remember so you don't get mixed on which row or column you're multiplying. Alright, for our final one is number 7, determine the order of following matrix. So when you're determining the order, you're basically going to describe the shape of the matrix. And in this thing, in describing a matrix, you need to, basically, it's rows by columns. It has to be in this order. You cannot switch it because it can mean different things. This is how you know when you're given a order, you know the shape of the matrix without even seeing it. So for this one, rows by column, there's 1, 2 rows and 1 column. Oh, that's not a 1. There we go. Alright, that is all the problems from our number 5 ULA activity. Like I always say, if you have any questions, just let me know.